Hello guys, once again welcome back to the channel Rahul Automation Studio. So guys, in this video I will be explaining you how you can handle the frames. So there can be one frame and there can be a nested frame as well. Nested frame means to say one frame another the another frame. So how you can switch to the particular frame and how you can do some operations on that particular frame, and again how can you come back on your parent frame or on your default frame. So let's do it guys one by one. So first of all, create a Java file. So we'll be creating one Java file in it. So this is our package. So in this package I'm creating a new class. So we will be creating a class with the name of frames, and we will be like to add a main method in it. Just finish it. So this is a class with the name of frames and this is the main method. In this method we will be adding our code. So to launch a Chrome browser, I already have written the code, and this is the URL for the single frame. So first I will show an example for the single frame. After that I will show you an example for the nested frame. So what I'm doing in this code, I'm setting a property for my WebDriver.chrome.driver, and in that I am giving the file path for the Chrome driver.exe file. After that, I'm creating a class for the Chrome driver and storing in the WebDriver interface reference variable. After that, using this variable, I am loading a URL. So this is the URL guys for the single frame. So first of all, let me try to run it and open the website for you. So click on run as and run as a Java application. So it should launch a Chrome browser for you and it should load this particular URL which is having a single frame example for you. So in this we will be seeing how you can switch to a frame. What are different ways that you can switch on the frame. Okay guys, so we will be discussing it one by one. So let's do the maximize also in that. So for the maximize we will be using driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. This is the method guys to maximize your browser window. So for guys to handle a frame and to switch on the frame, there are three ways that you can do. So what are those three ways? So this is for the first one. So first one, how you can switch. So there are guys, method is switch to is the method by which you can switch on a frame. So frame is also a method there. So first of all, you can pass a index here, index of that particular frame on which you want to switch. So this is the one way. Which one is the second way? So second way is you can use ID or a string, ID or name. Okay guys, so this is the ID or name you can use. And there is the third way where we have to use the web element. So web element for the particular frame. So we can use the web element for our frame and we can switch on that particular frame. So let's see this one by one. So as this is a single frame, so what we can do, driver dot switch to is the method. After that dot frame. So guys, you can see in the frame there are three methods. Like you can pass a index. So this index is basically the index for your frame, that is first frame. So it will always be start with 0 and it can be 0, 1, 2, 3 based on the number of frames. And there is second method is the string, that in the string we can pass either the name of the frame or ID of the frame. And third is our web element. So we have to pass the element for our frame element. You can see frame element. So first we will be using the index. So as there is the only one frame and frame always start with the 0. So we will be passing as a 0 index in it. So once this is passed, suppose we have switched on this particular frame. So how do you know that this is a frame? So first of all, what guys we have to do is just right click on it. Okay guys, just inspect the element, or you can do the page source as well. Just control F and type frame. So you can see guys, iframe is there. You can see guys, this iframe is there. So it means this is a frame, right? So this is a frame. This is the frame for you. This area is for the frame. So if you want to work, if you want to enter value in it, first of all, you have to switch on the frame. After that only you can enter the value in this particular text box or in this paragraph. So let's expand this. So for timing, we are using a index method. So I'm passing a 0, and in this, just expand it more. Let me, yeah. So there is a paragraph P. So we will be try to send some value in it. So for that we can use a P. P is a tag, so that we can use. So for that we will be using driver dot find element by dot tag. So you can use a by dot tag name here. And what is the tag name? Tag name is P. And we will be passing some value. So you have to use a send keys method for that. And so we will be passing one value. So like Rahul Automation Studio. So we will be passing this value. And you can see guys, already there is some context values there. Your content goes here. So first of all, we will be try to clear this. So there is a one method if you want to clear the value from a text box or a paragraph, so that you can use a particular that method. So what is that method? So that method is basically a clear method. So clear method is there. So it will clear this value from the text box. It will clear it, and after that it will enter the value whatever you want to enter. Okay guys, so let's add 2 seconds of wait also, so that it will be proper load and it will be proper switch for you. Okay guys, so add 2 seconds. 2 seconds is enough. And you guys, you can see it is throwing an exception basically. So you have to throw in your declaration in the method. So error is resolved. So just close it and try to run this right now. So just run as a Java application. So this is a method that we are covering for the switch to, and switch to based on the index of the frame. So as there is only one frame, so I'm using a 0 index. So as you can see, it has cleared the value and it has entered Rahul Automation Studio. So it means it has properly switched on it. Right guys, so let's now see the another way, that is second way. We will be seeing how we can switch on particular frame. So our second method and second way to switch on a frame is ID or name. So we can use either the ID or either the name. So we will be inspecting this particular iframe. So you can see guys, it is having one ID, this name. So this is the ID for this frame. So this time I will not be using this index. Instead of that, I will be using the ID. So just keep it there. Just copy this and paste it. So I have commented out that switch based on the index, and this time I will be passing the ID, right? So just pass that particular ID. Okay guys, you can pass the name or you can pass the ID, and rest of the code is same. So this is our second way to switch on a frame. You can switch based on the name or a string. Just close to this so that it will not create the confusion. And now let's try to run it. So run it again as a Java application guys. So it should be proper switch on that frame and it should enter this particular value in the paragraph box. So this guys we are doing for the single frame. Okay. So as you can see, it has properly entered the value in the paragraph. So now this is our second way. This is our first way guys. So let me write it here. So this is our first way, and we will be commenting out this line. And now this is our second way. Now we will be covering our third way. So the third is basically the web element. So you can use a web element also, right? So let's try it for that also. Just copy it, switch to dot frames. So we have to use frames, and in the frames it is saying for the web element for our frame. So for that we have to do driver dot find element by dot. So let's see, we have to pass a location, so we will be using the XPath for it, right? So let's inspect the locator for our frame. So if you see guys, so just look at this frame. So we can find the XPath for basically with the help of a title. So this is a iFrame. So write down the XPath for it, like iFrame and at the red title. So title is equal to this, right? So this is the frame element. Just control A and C, and you have to pass in our XPath. So this is the XPath for it, right guys? So this is our third way to switch on the frame. So now let's try to execute it. So our first way is to switch on the frame is with the help of a index. Second way is to with the help of ID or the name. And third is our web element for that particular frame. So this is the third way that we are doing. And yeah guys, it is working fine, and it has entered that value in the paragraph box. So this is our third way. So we have covered a single frame in it. Now we will be moving on our nested frames. Suppose guys, they are one frame inside another frame, right? And we want to do some operation on that particular nested frame. So how we can perform an operation in it? So switch on the frame is basically the same for the both, but how and which what is the sequence to switch on the frames, that is important for the nested frame. So first of all, I will be commenting out this also. This is our basically third way guys. So this is our third way for to switch on the frame, right? Now I will comment out this line of code for you, and now we will be doing for multiple frames guys. So for the multiple frame, this is the URL that we have to use guys. This is the, it is containing an example for the multiple frame. So we will be commenting out this line for the single frame URL, and we will be launching our nested frame. So let's run this guys. So we can close this single frame example, and now we will be moving forward for the nested frame and example. So let me write down also guys. So this is our single frame, right? Just run it, and we will be seeing how the nested frames looks like, and then we will be doing some operations in it. So guys, you can see this is an example for the nested frame. So you can see guys, this left, middle, right, bottom, all these are the frames, and these frames are basically one inside another. And how can you know there is a multiple frames? Like you can see view frame source. So whenever there is a frame, you will find one more option. Once you will click on that particular frame and you will do right click, you will find the option for the view frame source. Or otherwise, you can always go in the inspect mode and always try to look for the frame. So you can see guys, there are multiple frames. There are so many multiple frames guys. So let me show you how these are nested frames. So first of all, let's expand this. Yeah. So see guys, this is a one frame. First of all, there is a complete frame set which is containing all the frames. In this frame set, you can see there are two frames, one and second. So first frame is for the upper frame and one is for the bottom one. But in the upper frame, guys, you can see in the upper frame that is containing three another frames. So that is called as a nested frames. One is with the name for left, middle, and the right. This frame is our nested frame because this frame is inside the another frame. If you want to do some operation on this frame, so how you will switch on this particular frame, and again you will come back on your parent frame or on your default frame. So how you can do that, guys? So let's do this one by one. So basically switch to operation is same for a single and for the nested frame. So you can switch based on the index, based on the ID or name, guys, or based on the web element. So for that, guys, first of all, what you have to do? First of all, you have to switch one by one, right, guys? So first of all, you will be switching on this particular frame. So to switch on this particular frame, we can use the name, as we can use ID or name. So we will be using that. Let's do it, guys. So you have to write driver dot switch to dot frame. So frame for the index, name or ID. So we will be using a name. Just paste that name. So what this will do, this step will switch on this particular frame. This will switch on your upper frame. Now we again want to move on the nested frame. Suppose we want to move on this left frame. So again we have to switch on it. So for that we can use this name ID. Sorry, this name. So how you can use? So just copy this line, paste it, and this is the name. This is the name for your frame. So just paste it here. So this is the nested because it will go first of all in this top frame. After that, it will switch on the left frame, right? And we want to do some operation in this particular nested frame. So here what we can do. So it is having one title that is left. So we will try to fetch the element and we'll see it is properly switched on this particular frame or not. So we will be having one body. So we can get the text from body and we'll see what value is coming for it. So we will printing it. So we will be using system dot out dot println. So in this particular println, what we will be doing? So we will be writing a driver dot find element by dot body. Sorry, it means tag name. So tag name we can use. What is the name for it? Body, right, guys? So this is the particular finding the web element, and we will be getting the text for it. Get text is the method, so we will be displaying it, right, guys? So we are switching and then we are getting the title like the get text, and let's see if it is working or not. So this is an example for the nested frame, how you can switch on the frame which is inside another frame. So you have switching method is same by the three ways, but you have to jump inside the frame one by one as in the sequence mode. So guys, you can see the left has been printed. So it means it is in the left frame. So it is inside this particular frame right now. So in the similar way, suppose if you want to switch in some different frames, suppose I want to switch in my right frame. So you can always switch on this right frame also. Just switch on this, and now we will be seeing it is switching properly or not. So just try to run, and this time the message and it should be right. So let's see. So you can see, guys, this time it is right. So it means it is properly switched on this particular frame. So this is one another inside another frame. So this is how that you can do some operations in the nested frames. So you can switch on the nested frames and again you can do some operations. So your next thing will be, right guys, so suppose you have switched on particular frame and you have done some kind of operations in that particular frame, but again you want to come back on your parent frame, right? Suppose you have done the operation on this particular frame, on this frame. Now you want to come back on this frame and you want to do some operations in this particular frame. So what you will be doing? So how you can switch on your parent frame? So for that guys, they have given one method to us. So that is driver dot switch to dot parent. So you can see parent frame is the method if you want to switch on the parent frame, right guys? So this is the method to switch on the parent frame. So to confirm it is working fine or not, so what can I do guys? This is, so this we want to check for this frame, right? So we can use the frame size, how many frames is coming inside that. So if it is properly switched on this frame, so inside that there are total 3 frames, so the size should become 3. Now let's see and count it. So we can use the tag name, right? So tag name is frame. So here instead of body we will be using a frame. And the methods guys, you have to be careful. See, this is an find element, but there, if there are more than one web element, so you have to use the method find elements, right? Find elements, and we will be finding the size. So we will be displaying the size in this. Just right click on it and run as a Java application. So parent frame is a method to switch on the parent frame. So this time guys, size should become 3 because from here it is switching to this frame, and inside this frame we are counting the number of frames. So number of frames are 3, so the size should become 3 for you. If it is not switching properly, the size will not come, the count will not come the proper, right? And if you see in another, there is no other frame, right? So let's see what's the size is coming. So guys, size is coming 3. So it means it is properly switched on the parent frame because there are three frames inside the parent frame. This is our parent frame. These are our child frames. And number of child frames count is 3, right? Now I want to show you one more method, guys. So I am just commenting out this line. There is one more method that you can use in the frames, driver dot switch to dot default content, right guys? You can see default content is the method. Suppose you have worked on this particular frame in the nested frame. Now you don't want to come back on the parent frame. Instead of that, what you want to come back outside of it on your default, like on the frame set, right? You don't want to switch on the parent frame from the child, from the nested frame directly. You want to jump on your frame set, not even on the parent frame. So there is a method that is default content. So this is the method which will be switching you from anywhere. It is 3 times, 4 times, 100 of nested frames are there. But if you are using default content, it will switch you on the zeroth, I mean to say on the, like, at most in your HTML form, right guys? Outside of all the frames, it means outside of all the frames, guys. So for that you have to use default content method. So let's see it is doing proper or not. So for that we will again display the number of size of this particular count of the frames. So this time if you will see guys, so if it is properly switching, right guys? So let me just close it. So if it is properly switching on our default content and it is coming on like frame set, and we are trying to find a number of size for the frames. So number of size of frame, it should come 2, because 1 and 2, they are total number of frames inside the default content of that. So now let's try to run this. Right click on it, run as Java application, and the size should become 2 this time. So just go on your Eclipse and you can see the count is coming 2. So it means it is properly switching on your default content page, right guys? So in this video guys, we have covered for the single frame, for the nested frame, and what are different ways that you can switch on a frame. So you can switch with the help of index and with the help of ID or name or that web element. How you can switch on the nested frame, that also I have explained you. And what is the parent frame method? So I have explained you, it will switch you on the parent frame or that particular frame. And I have explained you about the default content as well. So guys, I have covered all the methods for the frames, and by these guys you can always work on your particular test cases. So please let me know if you have any questions, and please share and subscribe to my channel. So thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.